So, the year is gradually coming to an end, and one thing that is a must do for me at the end of every year is reflection. Reflecting on how the year went for me, the good, the bad, the ugly, just so that I can work on my weaknesses and pour more into my strengths and just be a better person moving forward. And usually, I write this down, but since this channel is existent, I thought to make a video this year. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing my 6 bests and 1 worst for the year 2023, the finance edition. So the best decision I made this year was to be aggressive with my savings. And yes, it did have its downsides, like me being the brokest I've ever been since I turned 20. But I did reach that savings goal, and I'm seated here breathing healthy and alive, so I would say it was absolutely worth it. The best financial advice I have ever received, I wouldn't say I received it this year, but it's the best I've ever received, is pay yourself first. The best financial moment this year was looking at my fixed savings of last year double up because of the increase in dollar rates. The best financial book I read this year, and this is one that I read every single year. I don't think there is any financial piece that I have come across that beats it, and this is just my opinion. The book is called The Richest Man in Babylon. It has some of the most simple and basic information when it comes to personal finance. They seem so basic, but they are very relevant and necessary in anyone's personal finance journey. So if you haven't read that book, go and read it. The best financial movie I watched this year is, I'm going to give you 3 popular lines from that movie, and if you can guess it right, 1,000 recharge card for you. So the first popular line is, in Italy we have a saying, love rules without rules. Second popular line is, in a city where there's no center, I am your center. And the third popular line is, I believe we can be something great. Can you guess the movie? So the movie is called From Scratch, and it has an amazing, like a beautiful storyline. It shows the different feelings of life: grief, passion, family, love, sacrifice. The major takeaway for me in this movie was actually their finances. I'm very, very conscious when it comes to that sort of thing. Plus, most of the divorce in these times is like 90% is because of money issues, so don't blame me. That in the movie, she did not want to go to law school and went up to Italy to chase her dreams of becoming an artist. He, on the other hand, which is her partner, left Italy, came to New York to start a life with her. So they were both starting from scratch. They did not have like a lot of money. One scene in the movie that got me had me all in my feelings was when he wanted to start his restaurant and asked her if he could use both their savings to start up. I'm not going to lie, if it's me, I would say no. Because what if the business doesn't work out? I don't know, it's just my opinion. But she was so willing and believed in his dream and took the bold step with him, made that sacrifice, and they started the restaurant. And along the line, he fell ill. They had no money. She had to go to a previous place of work so that they could, get health insurance. At some point, it was family that now began to assist them, which is another beautiful thing about the story, support system. So it's just a lot. And the reason why I say this is because, as young girls, we have all these aspirations and dreams for ourselves as individuals. But if we also aspire to be married one day, which is something that scares the hell out of me, just because I think it's a sacred union, and the young adults of this generation just think like it's a joke. If marriage is something that we aspire to, we also need to start thinking of not just my personal finance, but what will my personal finance look like when it's not just me, but it's now me and a husband, or it's now me and a wife. And yes, I just finished reading this very amazing book. It's called 101 Questions to Ask Before You Get Married by Norman Vincent, I guess. So if you're thinking on jumping off that cliff, and taking that bold step towards being a wife or a husband, or going into a committed relationship that might probably lead to marriage, then I think you should read that book, because it has so many questions that I feel most people do not get the chance or the opportunity, or do not even think about asking. We're human beings, not everything comes to mind. I think that is a book that would help you in that process. So you should definitely check it out. The movie just opens your eyes to so many aspects of life. And it's movies like this that just makes you appreciate the true blessing of life, which is love, family, good relationships. Because these are things that every human being needs to function properly. At least I know I do. It also opened my eyes to the fact that you never can tell what someone might be going through. So try as much as you can to be kind as often as you can to people, because you don't want to add to someone's suffering unconsciously. The best financial app I used this year is my Money Manager app, and it helps me track my expenses, my income. It just helps me know how I'm spending money. The worst financial decision I made this year was not having anything in my emergency fund. And this is very ironic, because I know I took a good game of saving at least 3 months worth of expenses or income in your emergency fund, but this year I had nothing. And if that doesn't tell you anything, what it simply means is that I do not sit at the back of this camera almost every week to share what I have to share about personal finance from a standpoint of someone who has her finances all figured out. I'm constantly learning, relearning, and unlearning every single day about personal finance. So yeah, I don't think it's something that you just, make a big decision and yeah, your personal finance is covered. It's a journey, it's a process of continuous learning. So I am in no way perfect. I'm constantly learning to see that I take better actions, take better risks, and do better with money. And also, please, no matter what it is, always have something in your emergency fund. The reason why I had nothing in my emergency fund is that I just thought, in the previous years I would always have something there, but I never ended up having any emergency. So I would always use it for something that is not valuable or even reasonable sometimes. So I just thought this year that instead of taking that 50-50 risk of spending that money on something useless, I might as well just put it in my savings so that it can help me reach my savings goals for the year faster. And yes, it did. But this year I had the most emergencies. Crazy. My wish for next year is that this community that I am trying to build on this platform grows. I don't care if it's a person, 2 persons, 4 persons, 1,000 persons. I hope it grows and expands and more people get to watch my videos and get value from it and be subscribers. So yeah, that's my wish for next year. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you got value from it, and as always, I will see you next week.